This is Hombone, a rock ground type Pokemon who's an extremely common sight during the early and mid game of Pokemon Snakewood. Stat-wise, it's not really that good, and its moveset isn't really saying much, resulting in this Pokemon being well known as that one Fakemon the evil team uses that gets one-shot by your water type. At level 40, Hombone grows a tiny little claw and becomes Humbeast. This Pokemon has pretty good stats for its type, with a solid attack and defense stat on top of two pretty decent abilities with Hyper Cutter and Intimidate. On its own, it's a pretty solid Pokemon. A rock type with Intimidate is a pretty cool idea, and it has some pretty solid matchups. Notably, it can be brought to the Elite Four as a solid counter to Elite Four member Indigo, and more specifically his Zapdos, who's otherwise really tough to handle. Despite that, Humbeast has one major flaw. You see, there's another rock ground type that has very similar stats and pretty much does what Humbeast does, but much better. That Pokemon of course being Golem. While Humbeast's learn set has slightly more variety, even if some of them comes from his 30 special attack, the Geodude line actually has Ground Stab with Magnitude and much later on, Earthquake, which Golem gets upon evolving. Compared this to Humbeast, whose only Ground Stab move it learns naturally is Fissure. As a result, it has to rely on the TM for Dig as its strongest Ground Stab for most of the game. But an even bigger advantage for the Geodude line is the existence of Graveler, who provides a lot more to the table during the early to mid game compared to Hombone, who does absolutely nothing until it evolves. As much as I love this dubious little creature, this was ultimately the reason why I never grabbed it as an encounter in my Snakewood Deathlock challenge. To learn more about this challenge, check out the video linked in the description.